Do you need to impress your Indonesian girlfriend with material things? This is the topic of today's video, and it is also applicable to other countries in Southeast Asia, so not necessarily only valid to Indonesian girls, but also certainly to Filipinas, Vietnamese and Thai girls. I remember during my early days when I was dating in the Philippines, I made this mistake and I thought I need to impress the girls with material things, money, cash, traveling, buying her smartphones or other stuff. You know, I remember one particular lady, I was dating her in Manila many years ago, and actually on our first date, we had lunch together. I remember a few hours later we went to the shopping mall because she was insinuating to me that she wanted a new handphone, and I bought her that new handphone. Yeah, I barely knew her for 2 hours and I was actually so stupid and to pay $300 for it, you know. Lesson learned. So this is what I mean. At the time I probably thought, you know, I just show off how rich I am, wanted to impress her with that kind of stuff. And maybe I also was scared to kind of lose her affection or whatever she had for me. There was probably no affection at all because she just played her game and tried to manage, and she managed very well. And I lost, right? But because of my own stupidity. Just a while ago here in Indonesia, I dated a single mom with 2 kids, and I remember there was never ever an issue with that she asked me for anything, for money or for other material things. There was no issue. She, by the way, had a job. So this is just one example. So of course, this Filipina example I just gave you, of course, is not representative, okay? This is just one example. A typical example of the many mistakes I did in earlier years, which, by the way, also many other guys actually do and still commit. So also I have to say that in my experience, now when we are still again talking about this material thing stuff, I find Indonesian women in general less materialistic than other Asian girls, and I will not name any particular country here because last week I released a video, you might remember, and it was about Filipinas or Indonesian girls, and I was reporting about my own personal dating experience within the past 18 years dating Filipinas and Indonesian girls, right? And this is what I wanted to do. I just wanted to share my experience and also to share this with other people, you know, might be helpful. But I received some harsh backlash by some Filipinas, you know. I think they did not like what I had to say, although when you really watch the video, you will find that I did not say any particularly bad about Filipinas. No, nothing. It was just a very rational comparison, you know, based on my experience. So if I wanted to do a bad video about bad Filipinas, I'm pretty sure this certainly would look completely different, right? So again, also, when I just stated that, in my opinion and in my experience, Indonesian women are less materialistic, then please accept this as my own personal truth, based on my personal own experience. It's not a judgment. Yeah? It's just what I find, what I experienced. It's not meant to be a judgment. Yeah? Not this statement here today, nor the statement or the statements I did in the video of last week, right? So, and by the way, I did not receive any negative feedback by any Indonesian woman for my last week's video. So maybe this is already telling Yeah. In Germany, we have a saying, and it goes like this. Lass mal lieber die Kirche im Dorf. Ja? Wir wollen mal lieber die Kirche im Dorf lassen. That means something like leave the church in the village. Or in other words, we don't want to throw out the baby with the bath water. What do I mean by that? Yeah. So if you think that you need to impress the girl with material things, then of course it's up to you, but I think it's not necessary. It is really up to your discretion if you wanna do it, okay? But it's not necessary. So again, this is my advice to you, especially when you are in the very first stage of your dating experience, yeah? Let's say you have dated this girl the first, the second, the third time. When you are in your first weeks or even months, it is not necessary that you shower them with cash, that you throw money at them. Yeah, you also don't need to take them on a travel trip. Yeah, you don't need to go to fancy resorts. You do not need to buy a Gucci handbag, or you certainly don't need to buy the latest Apple iPhone. I don't even believe that these Indonesian women really expect that from you. Okay, I will go into this a little bit later and tell you the reason why you should not do this, because it's not necessary. But I remember a few years back I made this mistake again in Indonesia, and I thought I have to buy this girl which I dated for a while, had been dating for a while. I thought I have to buy her a watch, because she wanted a watch. So I said, okay, I buy it for you. So I bought the watch, about $150, which is a lot of money in Indonesia. And I thought, yeah, I would win her heart or whatever. And yeah, anyway, long story short, haven't seen this girl again. Yeah, so there you go. Now let's talk about the travel thing, because I also, of course, remember that I was thinking, since I like traveling a lot, you know, traveling is my passion, I love to travel, that's why I am here in Indonesia, or that's why I was in the Philippines at the time. I thought that the girls, you know, they are so poor and they don't have money, and maybe, you know, I can impress them with taking them on a trip to Boracay or to Palawan or to other beautiful islands, you know, because I wanted to visit these islands anyway. So I thought, you know, I can do her a favor and get her out of her boring village life and stuff like that. That was my rationale, that was my thinking, you know, and maybe there's something to it, but what I know and what I learned is that and also in Indonesia, I do not believe that all of the girls really are eager to travel with you. It's not, for them, it's not about the fancy resorts, the fancy beaches. Yeah, of course, nowadays in this age of social media, everybody wants to be important and puts his or her pictures up on Instagram, showing themselves at a fancy, nice beach, you know, with your Lamborghini if you have one and stuff like that. Certainly some girls think that way, but I think most of the girls actually really do not care so much. You know, what you think in your mind probably would be also important to them. But certainly there are some girls who are taking advantage of this, and this is what happened to me last year when I had my last Filipina girlfriend. Yeah, that was only a short romance. Yeah, lasted only a few weeks, but she was that kind of girl. She knew I wanted to travel around, and she kind of joined me. Also started to insinuate in a very clever and smart way that she also would like to go there and there and there. And I of course, you know, I was happy to hear that, because, you know, I thought, jackpot, now I can combine the useful with the nice, but at the end of the day, it was bottom line, this whole travel experience with her was like, she got what she wanted. And then once I left the Philippines, it was bye-bye. Thank you very much, white guy, for taking me on a trip. And now I'm going back to my boyfriend, to my ex-boyfriend, actually. So that was the story. So that's the travel thing. Be careful also. Some girls just might to take advantage, because you're going to pay for the trip, of course, right? This is what they think and feel, because they will not ask you or tell you, please, I want to go to this and this island and I want to go there tomorrow for 1 week. And by the way, you have to pay. And they're not going to do this. They will insinuate. But anyway, you don't have to worry too much about that also. What I suggest, and which is also my experience, is that you approach the dating process here in Indonesia in a very simple way. Just remind yourself or think back to the times when you were in high school. If you've never been to high school, it doesn't matter. In certain countries there are no high schools, like in Germany, but you were a teenager, right? And most of us dated, or at least tried to date girls, during their teenage years. And I was one of them. And I remember, and we all remember, right, that most of us, we didn't have much money, but we had a crush on that girl. We liked her and we were thinking about how to approach her, how to take her out, how to date her, So, and what did we do? We went ahead, right? Without throwing cash, or showering her with, I don't know what. At the time there were no smartphones, at least not when I was a teenager. So we just did it. We dated these girls. And this is also what is my advice to you when you are here. There's no need to open your wallet other than to pay for the coffee or the tea or for the ice cream, for the taxi, for transportation, or for the movie theater, the small things. What is really more important here is that you spend time with this girl, take a walk through the park or take a walk along the beach, go to a nice coffee shop. No need to be a fancy restaurant. So here we go again, when you think, and this was my thinking as well at the time, gonna have dinner with her and I bring her to a fancy restaurant, And the problem was that, girls, ladies, women, they always pay a lot of attention to their figure, to their body, right? So this is what I figured out also over the years. I thought, if I bring this girl to a nice restaurant, a decent one, not a very expensive one, that she will like it and she will be happy and she feel like something special because I treat her as such, right? But actually, the story was that most of these girls never really ate that much. They only ate a baby portion of food because I think they don't want to come across as eating too much because they want to save face. They want to be perceived as women who take care of their figure, their body, and that kind of stuff. They don't want to be perceived as eating machines or whatever, to something like that. I think this is the rationale behind it. So, and number one, so you basically waste your money in these restaurants. And number two, I had a few times also girls who I invited to casual upscale restaurants, but the problem was these ladies they ordered the most expensive or one of the most expensive items on the menu. And as I said, they only ate half the portion and the rest went back to the garbage bin. And I was really upset about this, trust me. So no need to do this. No need to be in a fancy restaurant. A nice coffee shop is nice. An ice cream store, the simple things. It's more about getting to know each other. It's not about impressing her with material things. You want to get to know that person. You want to spend time with her, and she wants to hopefully spend time with you. So you can talk about things, just you and her, walking on the beach, sitting in a coffee shop, have conversation, have communication, communicate with your mouth and your body and your mind, and not so much with your wallet, okay? Why? Because you don't want to set the bar so high. If you date a girl and on your first or second date you buy her already, let's say, a smartphone like I did, you already raised the bar that high. And if you continue to do this, this girl actually, you created expectations in her mind, yeah? So if she just knows you, or knows when she is with you that you always buy her some stuff, then, you will lose at the end of the day. You're not only losing money, but you probably also lose that girl, because you conditioned her to think of you as the guy who buys the stuff for her, and that's why she is interested in you. And that's why she is hooking up with you, because you don't know. You think she really likes you, but maybe she just likes you for the money. So you have to be careful with this, in the beginning, other than taxi money and some ice cream money and some Starbucks money, nothing more should be paid, focus on, like in high school days, on getting to know the person, enjoy the time together, have a good time, and and all that other stuff is not so important. Don't set the bar too high, otherwise you will set yourself up for failure. So, because what's the moral of the story? In my experience, you want to establish a relationship with this girl and not a dependency, right? Because what will eventually happen is, if you buy your date, which is still very fresh and new, if you start to shower her with money, cash and material things, the first time you buy her, let's say a phone. Okay, fine. She will be so happy, because maybe she also insinuated that, her phone is broken or whatsoever. So let's say you make this mistake once. Okay, fine. You buy her a phone. She is happy. And then, but on a second occasion, you buy her another thing. I don't know, maybe a handbag or something. Then you already created expectations in her mind. We were just talking about it. These are the dynamics. And you already kind of created expectations in her mind if you buy more stuff for her on the next occasions. But, on the third or fourth or fifth time, if you still continue to buy her stuff, then she feels entitled, and then this is a very, very bad position for you. A position where you will most likely never get really out of anymore, because at that point you have conditioned her mind, and she just is with you most likely because for the material things, and if you put yourself in her shoes, it just makes sense. I mean, suddenly there is this foreigner coming and showering me with material things. Why should she say no to that, So there is no need. The girls survived 18, 20, 25 or 30 years without you, without all these fancy things. So they will also survive when they are with you, at least in the beginning. So again, do not try to impress Indonesian women with material things. Yeah, no need to do this. Impress her with your personality. Impress her with your interest in her, with your interest in the country, with your interest in the culture, maybe also with your interest to learn the language a little bit, with the interest in her family, in her circle of friends, in her surroundings, in her environment, and just treat her as a normal human being. yeah, as a young woman who, or maybe already a middle-aged woman, who knows, I don't know what you prefer, but just as a woman who wants to also date, preferably a foreigner who is at least curious, and then enjoy the process and enjoy your time. And yeah, that's all I want to say. So these girls, you know, it is for them already a great experience to even meet and talk to a foreigner. You know, as I mentioned before, here in Indonesia, what are the chances for a normal, regular Indonesian woman? What are the chances for her to even talk to a foreigner? Yeah, foreigners are so rare in this country that it is also not in the forefront of their mind to actually date foreigners. You know, these girls have other things to do. At least the good girls, they know that chances to meet a foreigner are minimal, so therefore it's not in the forefront of their mind. So, but you know, if the chance is there and the opportunity is there to date and meet a foreigner, you will see they are very quick to actually join and get to know you. And this is already the big plus. You are the asset, okay? You are the asset. The fact that you, as a foreigner, are already interested to meet and talk to this girl. You have to know that. This is of great value. And you don't need to mess it up by thinking you have to now suddenly come up with your up with your Lamborghini. Or other stuff, you know, no need to do that. Be humble. You know, these girls here are also very humble. They don't expect too much. Of course, they want to have a nice life also, but not necessarily in so many fancy material things. Of course, they want to get married later. They want to have a nice husband who is stable, mature, financially mature, emotionally mature, and stuff like that. You know, they want stability and security. But what does it help if your rich husband is a freak and an abuser and cannot provide emotional stability and other stuff? Anyway, short story long, I hope this video could clarify and help, and could also take away some concerns and even worries or fears, you know, because again, even you are coming from a richer country, a more well-off country, you are coming from a so-called first world country, it doesn't mean that you are under the obligation to now suddenly take care for the girl or take care of the girl in a materialistic way. No, just continue as you normally would do. The same way you would date a girl in Germany or in the States. I don't know how it is in the States. I hear very bad things, but you know, even in Germany, if I would date a woman these days, I certainly would not, on my first date, buy her a smartphone. You know what this woman would think of me? She would think I'm a lunatic. Who, in his healthy mind, would do this? You know, the woman probably would take the phone, but then she would also take off. You know, and will never see you again. Anyway. I'm looking forward to your comments as usually. Let me know what you have to say. Of course, if you have experiences or other experiences, then of course let me know. With that being said, I'm checking out for today, and I'm gonna see you in one of my next videos. Take care. Bye bye.